Frustration is mounting and anger is growing with the liberals and passive politicians. Learn the playbook of those who are trying to destroy our country. From the blue-collar professor, he teaches, he leads, he speaks out for truth and justice. Now, the educator of all things conservative, your host.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business, and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to it, where we continue to take the left to school, exposing them for who and what they really are, all while arming the hardworking people of America, just like you, with knowledge we need to hold our elected officials accountable. But fear not, unlike the liberal professors of this country, there are no safe spaces in this classroom. Why? Because we believe in the First Amendment. If you would like to connect with the show, you can do so. www.thegavinmitchellshow.com. You are welcome to email me anytime. I enjoy getting the emails and responding. You can do so at Gavin@thegavinmitchellshow.com. You can find us on Twitter at The GM Show, Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. You can find the show on demand anytime, iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, Google Play. And on Spreaker, we are so close to those 100 followers. If you get the opportunity, please give us a follow. If you do not have a Spreaker account, it's very easy. It costs no money, just a few minutes, and we would appreciate it more than you know. Like we said, we're knocking on that door of 100 followers, which qualifies us for iHeartMedia. You can find the show 5 days a week on conservativeradionetwork.com at 5 p.m. We're also on the 405 Media. Special thanks to John, and K98 Talk. Special thanks to Rick for carrying our shows on their station. Every Saturday night, 8 p.m., we are live in that Central Standard Time on News and Information KLIF 570 a.m. here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you are outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area, fear not. You can catch the show live on a live stream via conservativeradionetwork.com. I encourage you, call in, be a part of the program. That's the one opportunity every week where we get an opportunity to put your voice on the air, and we very much would like to do so. Such an incredible show coming this weekend. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but we have an interview that is going to blow your mind. It's going to make you angry, frustrated, and it's going to make you question a lot of things that you probably believed in. It has for me as we dig through it, and we're not done yet, but a very, very compelling interview coming this Saturday night, so be sure to tune in. In case you missed it, yesterday I joined my good buddy Matt Locke for over an hour of conversation on the election breakdown, where we're at, what's going on. It was a great show. I was honored to be a part of it. And just a special thanks to Matt as we were on the air there in South Bend, Indiana, what they call Michiana, kind of the Michigan, Indiana layover territory that radio station covers. And so special thanks to Matt for having us on. If you have not caught his show, please do so. The MattLockShow.com is where you can find him, and a great patriot. We don't agree on everything all the time, but that's okay. That's democracy at its finest. He is a true patriot and just a great guy, and most importantly, a good friend. With that said, big news came out yesterday. Well, it would have been big news. Ted Cruz decided to announce to the world that his running mate, should he win the GOP nomination, would be Carly Fiorina. And that is his vice presidential nominee if he were to win. Now, he pulled a play right out of Trump's playbook on this. He decided to, after things didn't go well, to make a big announcement. And we've seen it with Trump. Trump brings out Chris Christie after he gets beat. He brings out Ben Carson after he gets beat. He makes these big announcements to regain momentum, and it's a brilliant play by Donald Trump. That's the way you do it. And so Ted Cruz was facing 6 very big losses in a row over the period of just over a week, and so he needed to do something to right the ship. Even though he's claiming he's going into more favorable terrain for his campaign, he had to do something and do it quickly because this thing is all but over. You know, you hear a lot of talk out there that, well, can Trump still get to the magic number? He absolutely can. And if you listen to Matt Locke's show yesterday up there in South Bend, Indiana, where we talked about it, if you look at the math at where Donald Trump is at, and it depends on which count you look at. Some people have him at 950. Some people have him just over at 1,000. And that depends on whether you count the unbound delegates or not. Donald Trump has all but locked this thing up. It's all but over. Everybody's claiming that Indiana is a pivotal point. And for the first time in recent history, Indiana's relevant. It's relevant to the cause, but I don't know that it's as relevant as people would claim for it to be, because Donald Trump doesn't have to win Indiana. He's still got a number of avenues to where he needs to claim 250, 300 delegates, and it seems pretty easy moving forward, especially with New Jersey hanging out there with 57. There's so many paths. If you do the math, I find it hard to believe that Donald Trump doesn't get there. If you combine that with this phenomena that people like to vote for winners. They may not be the candidate of choice, but they want to believe their vote helped propel somebody to a nomination or to an office. And if you doubt that philosophy, just rewind back to George H.W. Bush's reelection campaign when he was fighting Bill Clinton and Ross Perot was in the mix. Ross Perot captured 19% of the popular vote during that general election. But on the exit polls, people came out and said, well, we would have voted for him if we thought he could win. That number totaled 35%. People vote for winners. And Donald Trump is in a position to where if you look at it objectively, and not with your heart, not with your want to, not with emotions, but you look at the math objectively, Donald Trump is going to win the nomination. He's going to hit the 1237 before Cleveland, and it's done. It's over. Now, I've said it several times on this program. I am a Cruz guy. I have a Cruz sign in my front yard. I like the man. I believe in the man. I'm not happy with some of the shenanigans that went on early in the primary season with Ben Carson, with this voter fraud mailer, things of that nature. But he fired that campaign manager, and they seemed to stop. They seemed to stop until I got a hold of this lady that we're going to interview Saturday, and we'll talk about that Saturday. But nonetheless, I live here in Texas. I saw the promises Ted Cruz made as he was running for Senate. I've seen what he's done in the Senate, and he held those promises. Now, there was a lot of flack on Marco Rubio and his attendance record. Well, if you look at Ted Cruz's attendance record, it hasn't been so stellar as of late. And I'm not just talking the campaign season. That's understandable. I'm talking prior to that. He's missed a lot of votes, and over his tenure in the Senate, he's missed something like 17.5% of the votes, where the average is 1 or 2%. That's the median, not the average, the median to do so. And so he did keep his promises. He did fight the fights he needed to fight. He did shut down the government fighting for Obamacare. He did plant the poison pill in the Gang of Eight bill. He did some great things. And do I think he would be a great president? Absolutely. Is he my first choice? Absolutely. But beating Hillary is more important. And this talk that Donald Trump can't beat Hillary is nonsense, because just look at those national polls over the past 6 months. Initially, Hillary Clinton was off the chart. She was winning by 20 points when compared to Donald Trump. But as we get closer and closer to a general election, that gap is closing more and more each day. That's the way it works. That's why we keep retaking polls. Polls are everybody's best guess. They take a small sample and they project that out. They extrapolate that out so that you can see from a representation on how they think it's going to play. And a lot of times they're accurate, given or taking the margin of error. A lot of times they're accurate, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes we just get a shock. Sometimes people lie to the people taking the poll. And you compound that with the fact that people don't have landlines anymore, and it makes it really tough to take these polls. But as every indication shows, that gap is closing more and more every day. Now, keep in mind, Donald Trump has been exposed for who and what he is. What you see is what you get at this point. There's not really anything left to uncover. But Bernie Sanders has taken it light on Hillary Clinton. He hasn't attacked her in the way Donald Trump will. He hasn't gone after her personally, and he hasn't gone after her record and things of that nature the way Donald Trump will. Hillary Clinton is a fraud. She may have a resume of positions held, but she hasn't done a good job in any of those ever. She dismisses some of these things like, oh, well, it's no big deal. Oh, well, you don't understand. That's above your clearance level, like she's above the law. This espionage charge that is working with the FBI investigation, it's real, and it's going to come to fruition. The question is when. When will it come to fruition? And of course, if this president is still in office, he's going to partner. There's no question about that. Make no mistake about it. Just because an indictment comes down and she, in appearance, has to be held to account, it's not going to happen. This president will partner. Now, if the election turns over before the indictment comes down, that's a different story, because both candidates, both Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, have said, yes, we will prosecute her to the fullest extent of the law. She needs to be held accountable, and rightfully so. And that's not a political play, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a political play. That's a matter of we are a country of laws, and regardless of what this administration says or does, we have to abide by those laws. And just because you're a former Secretary of State doesn't mean that you get to run carte blanche through whatever you want to, whenever you want to. This family, this Clinton family, has a habitual record of lying. That's all they do. Bill Clinton got impeached. And I don't think we understand the historical magnitude that is. Getting impeached from the office of president? That doesn't happen. It's happened only a couple times in history. And he got impeached. Why did he get impeached? The short answer is he lied under oath. That's why he got impeached. Hillary Clinton lies. Bill Clinton lies. It's what they do. They think they're above the law and they don't have to be held to account. Let me digress back to Carly Fiorina. All else equal, if this race was neck and neck and Ted Cruz made this decision, and make no mistake about it, it's abnormal that it comes this early. This is a Hail Mary from the Cruz camp. But let's just run under the hypothetical that all else is equal. What does Carly Fiorina bring to the table that Ted Cruz can use? She is a complete and ultimate outsider. That helps with that narrative. It kind of combats Donald Trump a little bit. She has been a very successful businesswoman and CEO. Again, a counter to Donald Trump. If somehow Ted Cruz were able to make it to the general election and be the GOP nominee, Carly Fiorina counteracts and balances out the whole woman vote, the whole feminist thing, because that seems to matter to people that women are in certain places and men aren't, and whatever. But it balances that. It's an incredible choice, in my opinion, because Ted Cruz brings all the government know-how, all the legal know-how, the experience on how Capitol Hill works, and it's balanced out with a private sector businesswoman who's been incredibly successful, and it's a good ticket. It really is. Now, I don't think in fact, I didn't, and I wouldn't vote for Carly Fiorina. I don't think she's ready to be president. I don't even know if she has the makeup. Yes, she's a leader and all of that, but that's in the private sector. This is a different situation, running the free world, where your decisions aren't somebody's paycheck. They're somebody's life. It's somebody's country. It's the safety. It's a different skill set, regardless of what they argue. Yes, they're both under the umbrella of leadership, but it's a different skill set. But as far as an offering to the public and an offering to the Republican base, it's a good choice. It really is. It's a great choice. And if you're Donald Trump, what do you do? Let's pretend this is a general election situation. How do you counter that? There's been a lot of talk about different people, but a name that was mentioned the last election cycle was Kay Bailey Hutchinson out of Texas. I don't know if she's interested in the job. I don't know if she would take the job. I doubt Donald Trump would ever offer it to her, but it does the same thing. It balances the ticket the same way Fiorina balances the ticket for Cruz. Everything that Donald Trump lacks, Hutchinson brings to the table. And it combats the feminist movement that Hillary Clinton, she is going to play that card over and over and over again. Get ready for it. That's the card she's going to play. Well, he doesn't like me because I'm a woman. Well, it's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a woman. Or some derivation thereof. That's what we're going to hear for the next several months. Prepare for it. Get ready for it. It's coming. But I think Fiorina is a good choice. The problem is for Ted Cruz, as much as it hurts my heart, it's too little, too late. After the beatdown that happened in the Northeast, and just prior to that, New York, Donald Trump is in a position to win this thing outright before going to Cleveland. That's just where we're at. Now, we're going to get into the movement of the great socialist Bernie Sanders on the other side. He is making some moves, some unexpected moves that tells us all we need to know. But if you look at the math, it's pretty simple. But I want to talk to the young people in the next segment as well about everything Bernie Sanders represents and why it's bad. I have case in point on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and T-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit TwistedRoadsTradingPost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscape. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialists in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Let's get back to the program. If you're sick of the garbage that comes out of Washington, D.C., then it's time to arm yourself with knowledge from the Blue Collar Professor. Here's your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So Tuesday night was not just a beatdown for those in the field on the GOP side that were battling against Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders got the hurt put on him as well. Now the margins weren't near what they were on the right, but he lost primaries in Connecticut, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. The only victory he came out with was the city of Rhode Island. And this hurts Sanders a great deal. Why? Because at the end of the night, Clinton had 2,141 delegates, and she only needs 2,383 to get there. This thing is over. It was over from the jump, and we knew that. But now the math is saying it's over. It's more than us just saying, well, this thing's rigged. Look at the super delegates. The math says it's over. Clinton has 90% of what she needs to move forward with still so many delegates on the table. It's over. And Bernie Sanders gets that. Now, he's come out and vowed that he's going to push this thing to the end. He's going to the convention, and he's going to unleash the most progressive platform this country's ever seen, yada, 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 right? Bernie Sanders was fun while he was around. He was fun to laugh at. His momentum made things a little scary, but now the socialist has effectively been eliminated from the race. We're now dealing with a felon on the left, and Donald Trump's turning his attention towards her appropriately, but we don't have to worry about the socialist movement any more than Hillary Clinton is a socialist. And don't discount that. That's definitely where the left wants to go, is towards socialism. This pendulum has swung a great deal each and every election since Barack Obama came around. We move closer and closer to socialism. We praise socialism more and more. We're going to talk about why that's such a horrible thing in a moment. But Sanders understands that this thing is over. And even though he's saying he's going to move forward, that he's going all the way to the convention, he's not giving up, so on and so forth, the writing is on the wall for him, and he gets it, because Wednesday they begin laying off staffers. And they're trying to spin it. They're trying to spin it to say, hey, well, we're 80% of the way through the primary season. We need to find the, quote, right size. And that's what the term they keep using, right size and right sizing the campaign. The quote from Sanders' campaign communications director says, "We're 80% of the way through the caucuses and primaries, and we make adjustments as we go along. This is a process that we've done before of right-sizing the campaign as we move through this calendar." That's nothing more than political spin, ladies and gentlemen. They understand what's going on. They see it, and they're laying people off because it's over. That's why. Now, they have raised more money than Hillary Clinton, if you don't count Hillary Clinton's laundered money through the Clinton Foundation. But as far as legitimate money goes, and I know that's an oxymoron when you're talking about the left, but legitimate money, Bernie Sanders has outraised Hillary Clinton, but he's outspent her as well. And so after this beatdown, they're letting people go. They keep using this term right size, and Sanders has vowed to move on. But this is step one of suspending a campaign, is cutting down to a skeleton staff. Then there are other steps, and then Bernie Sanders will announce he's suspending his campaign. I don't see him going all the way to convention. It doesn't make any sense to go to convention, but he's claiming that he's going to. Now, why is this a good thing for the United States? Why are all these millennials so wrong? Aside from the fact that they can't tell you how we're going to pay for these things that they want for free. They can't explain to you what Donald Trump has said that is racist. They can't explain to you why the bigoted right is the bigoted right. They just know they are. They can't explain to you why them stopping free speech is hypocritical. They can't explain any of those things. But what we know they want is they want free stuff. They want free college. They want free health care. They want all of us to pay for it. They don't want to have to work. And I made the comment several times that if you look at Bernie Sanders' demographics, the supporters and their demographics, what you will find is a large chunk of young people who have been sold this lie that everybody should go to college, and been sold this lie that it is the government's responsibility to give them health care, and it's the government's responsibility to take care of this outrageous student debt problem we have. They believe that. There's a sense of entitlement to them. And then along comes Bernie Sanders and says, that's a great idea. But when you ask them how we pay for it, they don't have an answer. They don't know, well, the government will pay for it. Well, where's the government get their money? They can't give away anything they don't take. Unless they take it from you or me, they can't give it away. Now, they can print it, but in effect, and this is very loose on the inflation thing, if you have $1 and it's worth $1, and then you print another $1 and you have $2, the value of currency is still $1. And keep in mind, that's very loose for you economists out there. Don't write me emails. I understand it. I'm just trying to explain the effect of inflation out there. So they can't give away anything that's not theirs. And the reason these young people are so hip on this idea is because they have no context to put it in. They have no socialist example to look to because they were born after the collapse of the USSR. Now, we've got some places that are close, but they don't hit the news. The only reason Germany's in the news is because of the migrant situation. We don't talk about the collapsing economy, and if we do, we don't do it in terms that common people like you and me can understand as to why the EU is failing. And the short answer is because there's socialist concepts. Look at what happened to Greece. Greece collapsed because nobody worked. Everybody took, nobody gave. That's what happens in socialism. All the resources and all the money flows to the top, and then it's redistributed as they see fit. Well, the way they see fit is they stuff as much in their pockets as they can, and then they may or may not pass out the rest. People don't understand that. Well, here's a great example of what's going on in Venezuela. Venezuela is a socialist country. And why Chavez is not in power anymore, the president, Nicolas Maduro, has ordered all government employees to come into work only on Mondays and Tuesdays. Now, if you're not the kind that likes to work, that sounds fantastic. But it's not. It's not. The consequences are not. Well, why are people so mad about this? People are mad at this for a couple reasons. One, these government employees are still getting a full paycheck. Where does that money come from? Taxes. So you're paying people to sit at home for 3 days. Does that set well with you? It doesn't set well with me. Moreover, this includes school employees, teachers. So what do these parents do with their kids 3 days a week? Do they let them run the streets of Caracas or Barquisimeto? No, you can't. And so now these kids who parents want them to get educated, they want to get educated, they want to go to school, they want to try to make a life, they can only go to school 2 days a week. Well, why is all this happening? All of this is happening because the leftist mentality has taken effect, and they've decided, even though they are an oil-rich country, my gosh, are they oil-rich? The leftists have taken over, and they've decided they're going to get their power from the dam. Water passing through the dam is going to turn the turbine, and that's how they get their power. Well, they're in a serious drought in Venezuela, and so they have to save electricity. They don't rely on the oil that's being pumped. They don't rely on fossil fuels. They rely on water. Renewable energy, right? Well, what happens if it doesn't rain? You have a power shortage. Now, this clown, Maduro, has tried a couple things to try to curb this situation. One is he's cut the work week for federal employees to 2 days a week to try to conserve energy. He has also moved the time zone. In following in the footsteps of North Korea, he has created his own time zone, almost like daylight savings time, to help people conserve energy, to try to encourage preserving energy. He's moved it 30 minutes forward. Now, a Venezuelan professor has commented on this, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, in a national periodical. And he said that Hugo Chavez tried to change time zones in an attempt to save electricity and failed miserably. Now, in February, they attempted to prevent the current drought situation, and they basically cut off water supplies to the population, claiming there were maintenance issues. But if you go outside the capital, it gets even worse. They're rationing the water supplies the same way they ration groceries. Remember, all the resources flow from the top down. They decide whether you can buy and what you can buy. And what has already started is rationing simple staples as milk, eggs, rice, things of that nature. They're now rationing water. And this rationing of simple staples has caused problems. Lines for hours, fights. People are literally fighting for food. Now they're fighting for water, and to make things worse, these long lines they wait in, the grocery stores are going to be open even less time because they've been ordered to conserve energy. Now, a lady named Maria Coronia, a former legislator, and she was ousted by this president's police. She was just thrown out because that's how it works. If the socialist leader doesn't like you, you get the boot. Forget democracy. Her quote is, "Venezuela demands education and productive work. These people are like gangrene. They want to destroy and paralyze everything." If you hear anything I say, ladies and gentlemen, hear that. Here is a person who has experienced it firsthand and has the intellectual capacity to think for herself. And her quote is, "They want to destroy and paralyze everything." Why? Because if you're a victim, if you're in need, you depend on them and they stay in power. They have the ability to line their pockets. I will continue to drive home that concept until the end of time because that is a fact. That is how this thing works. And if you want to know what socialism brings, research the USSR if you didn't live through it. That is socialism. If you want to understand the effects on socialism, look to Venezuela right now. And don't discount them as a poor country, a third world country. The amount of oil that flows out of Venezuela is ridiculous. I wouldn't go so far as to say they could rival the Saudis in wealth, but it would come real close. But it's one of the poorest countries on earth. You don't understand poor until you land in Caracas and you go up into the mountains and you see people living in shacks. You see people living on dirt floors. That's poor. In those shanties, that's poor. But just beneath their feet is enough oil to make all of them wealthy. But the socialists have taken control. They have stole the wealth, they have stole the resources, and they pass back just enough to make everybody dependent on them. To bring it back full circle, I am very glad that today Bernie Sanders realizes he's done, because this is the true consequence of socialism. We'll be back on the other side.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICRN, the internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on the Matt Locke Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on themattlockshow.com. The Matt Locke Show, all things conservative politics.
The following message is brought to you by Health Markets, your first choice when you need health insurance for your small business. Do you offer health insurance to your employees? Call us now and see if you can save money. Do you want to offer vision and dental to your employees? Call us. Do you think you're paying too much for your current health insurance? Call us. Do you want somebody else to do all the legwork and search thousands of health plans from over 180 health insurance companies nationwide? Call us. We're Health Markets, and thanks to a little-known solution, we could help your business save thousands of dollars on health insurance costs and save your employees money, too. Our service is free. Don't miss the great savings. Call now.
800-470-8021. 800-470-8021. 800-470-8021. That's 800-470-8021.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all states. Product availability varies.
Hey, liberals, try rooting for your own country for a change. Our blue-collar educator of all things common sense does. Now, back to the Gavin Mitchell Show.
I know I'm not the only one out here that These politicians, they just leave you shaking your head. You know, there's as you're young in your life, you think, well, those must be the best and the brightest. Those are the people leading our country. Those are the ones that the rest of us went to the ballot box and cast our vote for, and they've got to be it. When you're young and naive, you still have some innocence about you. But I've said it plenty of times before. Yes, I do have some letters after my name. I guess I could use Dr. Gavin Mitchell, right? But what I learned is that there are a lot of idiots out there with PhD after their name. There are a lot of people who are great in their little bitty niche of the world, their little research track. There's nobody better at what they do. But for the other 99.5% of life and just knowledge in general, they're dumb as a box of rocks. They're socially inept is the word I'm looking for. It holds true with our politicians too, right? Because if they can run a savvy campaign and somebody can put a muzzle on them and teach them to say just the right things at just the right time, they can fool some people and they can get into office. And then once they get there, if they lay low enough, they can hide their votes here and there. Well, enter John Boehner, this clown. Boehner did his best to wreck this country, and hand in hand with the con man in chief, Barack Obama, they came real close to wrecking this country. And for whatever reason, John Boehner has retired. And he seems to think that there's somebody out there that cares about what he has to say. Nobody cares what John Boehner has to say. I would be quite content if he would go buy a rock next to Mitt Romney, crawl on it, and they can live there forever as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to hear John Boehner's name ever again. Why? Because this clown comes out after the race is effectively over. And we have spent significant time on this program and other programs explaining the math to the race. It doesn't matter if you're a Cruz guy. It doesn't matter if you're a Trump guy. It's over. We need to turn our attention collectively towards Hillary Clinton and get ready to take the White House back and save this country. Is Donald Trump the best fit? I don't think so. But it doesn't matter anymore. So what happens when John Boehner, after that's established, after that's fact, John Boehner decides to open his mouth when it doesn't matter at all, thinking we care what he has to say. So not only is he irrelevant, he opens his mouth after it doesn't count, after there's no chips on the table. And what does he have to say? He has to say during a forum at Stanford University, and why Stanford University has this guy there is beyond me. I'm fired up. He calls Ted Cruz Lucifer in the flesh. Lucifer in the flesh. Does that sound like somebody who supports their party, somebody who wants to beat the liberal movement? Absolutely not. You couple that with his track record and you get all you need from this guy. He is a hoax, he is a phony, he is a clown. He goes on, I have Democrat friends and Republican friends. We know he has Democrat friends. Mitch McConnell, Barack Obama. Do I need to go on? They're best of buddies. I get along with almost everyone. Not me, sir. But I have never worked with a more miserable SOB, and he says it, in my life. I'm sure the feeling is reciprocated, former Speaker Boehner. He reportedly said he plays golf with frontrunner Donald Trump, describing them as texting buddies. Well, isn't that cute? I don't care what your relationship is with Donald Trump. I wish your relationship with America never was. Not broken up, not retired, never was.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers. Repairs, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscape. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialist in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
If you happen to drive by the studios during a commercial break and you see a guy on the roof waving an American flag, that's our blue-collar doctor of common sense. And now here he is, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So we've heard a lot of talk about trouble as far as riots and protests go surrounding the Republican National Convention. We've heard the media try to blame Donald Trump for inciting such violence. We've seen blame placed on Black Lives Matter. There's a lot of talk, and there's a lot of talk that if Donald Trump is ahead, and for whatever reason, I don't believe it's going to happen, but for whatever reason doesn't hit that 1237 going into the convention, if he's got a sizable lead and is fairly close, if he doesn't somehow come out of this convention with the nomination, there's going to be trouble. So there's all this insinuation everywhere that this convention has trouble written all over it as far as violence and protests outside. We've heard that. Well, even the Black Lives Matter founder, Patrice Cullors, that's her real name, has promised to shut down the RNC. And then last summer, there was a police intervention by Black Lives Matter activists in Cleveland. So Black Lives Matter has been present in Cleveland. They have promised to shut this thing down. And why? Because Republicans are racist. But when you ask for an example, the only thing you ever get from them is mass incarceration of people of ethnicity. That's the argument you get. What's the word I'm looking for? An unproportional number of black people are imprisoned. Well, what they fail to realize is that that's a result of Billy Clinton's legislation. A Democrat, not us. We're not the racist. They are. If that's the deciding factor, if that's the criteria on who decided to lock them up, and keep in mind, that just throws accountability out the window. It couldn't possibly be that the people in prison, whether you're black, white, green, or yellow, actually did the crime and has to pay the debt to society. That couldn't be it. It has to be that police officers are arresting black people because they're black. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't happen in the magnitude that these clowns say it does. Moreover, these are the same jerk-offs that decide to get out there and stop cars going to a Trump rally in Arizona, putting up a roadblock for their right to assemble, but claim their free speech is being stepped on. The same people, right? So we know who we're talking about, Black Lives Matter, and they promised to shut this thing down. Well, the city of Cleveland has responded, and they have bought insurance in anticipation of large-scale rioting at this summer's convention. And this is telling the Huffington Post, so take that for what it's worth. But the RNC happens in July, and Cleveland is already making plans not just for the violence and chaos, but for the rounds of lawsuits by the leftist attorneys that often follow. And that's true, and good for Cleveland for thinking ahead. A spokesperson for the city emailed the Huffington Post a statement and said the city hired an insurance broker to, quote, assist the city in identifying and procuring law enforcement professional liability and related insurance. It said that all of this is going to be paid through a $50 million federal grant. It needs to happen because we know it's coming. We know that the Black Lives Matter group, they can't participate. Even when your elected leader, Barack Obama, comes out and says you need to tone it down, you've got the message out that you're angry. Now you need to sit down at the table and have productive conversations. At that point, it needs to stop, but it's not going to stop. Why? Because they don't know what they're fighting for. They're fighting for racism, but they can't give you a specific example. They say it's free speech, but it's actually the inverse of that. They're interested in stomping out free speech. But they're not capable of having an intellectual conversation when they sit down at this proverbial table. And so the only answer they have is violence, is to be violent. And so the city of Cleveland is preparing appropriately. I'd like to see them just set a different special forces unit on each corner and just deal with those clowns appropriately. I'm not saying kill them. I'm saying put the hurt on them. If they want to incite violence, let's have a little violence. Let's dance. Why not? I'm just kidding. I'm saying that in jest, but you get my point. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. I don't know if this is the time. That's why I'm not president. That's why I sit behind a microphone. I have been trying to get to this story for a week, and we just haven't had time. So we got a few minutes here. I want to touch on it. The federal court that decided, well, this is in a federal appeals court. They have decided that upholding the amnesty giving to Tom Brady over Deflategate needs to be overturned, and he needs to serve his 4-game suspension. Now, if you'll recall, back in the AFC Championship game, it was alleged that Tom Brady ordered the balls deflated because it was cold and it's easier to grip and throw. And he had something to do with it. It was deflated below the lower bounds of what's legal in the NFL. Well, the NFL saw this as compromising the integrity of the game and decided to suspend him for 4 games. That's kind of the standard suspension now, 4 games. Well, he took it to court. He fought. He said that they overstepped his bounds, so on and so forth, because he wasn't actually suspended for the footballs. They couldn't prove it. He was suspended for destroying a cell phone that may have proved it. The guy's guilty. You destroy a cell phone that would point to you being guilty, you're guilty. He did it. He knows he did it. He thinks he's bigger than the game. And you know where I stand on this, but there's a caveat here. Tom Brady might be bigger than the game right now. Peyton Manning might be bigger than the game right now. It very rarely happens that somebody comes along that is bigger than the game, but this guy might be. I don't know if it's possible, but he might be, and people are upset that he might have to stand accountable for this. Now, look, I never played football at a high level. I don't know if deflating the footballs really helps you. Apparently it does. And I don't know if that gives you a competitive advantage over the other team. I don't know. What I know is that there are rules, and you got to follow the rules. And all indications say he broke the rules. Even though they can't prove it, the report says more probable than not he did. He destroyed evidence in the investigation. He hampered an investigation. To me, that's good enough. That's good enough. Besides, even if the Patriots go 0-4, ladies and gentlemen, he'll bring them back. They'll go 12-0 from there, and they'll win another Super Bowl. It's what this guy does. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it sends a message to the rest of the league that people can be held accountable no matter who you are. That's going to do it for today. Believe it or not, we're on the downhill slide of this week. Come back tomorrow for Friday's episode. And remember, in the words of the great Ray Wiley Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Gavin Mitchell. This has been The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Thanks for listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show, the Blue Collar Professor, produced in Fort Worth, Texas. If you like what you just heard, subscribe on iTunes and Spreaker.com. These and other links can be found on our website at thegavinmitchellshow.com. Be sure to tell your friends and colleagues about the Blue Collar Professor's daily podcast. Join us again next time as we take the liberals to school. All opinions expressed by the host or guests on this series are solely their opinions and do not reflect the views, policies, or positions of the Gavin Mitchell Show or its affiliates. This has been a Ron Phillips Pinnacle Broadcast Holdings production.